Hi everyone, this is Laura from Sold on RV Life, and today I am bringing you a video that I made a few months ago when my little brother was visiting Texas. I might be very biased, but I think my brother has some really great observations about traveling around this great country of ours and some of the things that you could check out. A lot of references will be made to channels, websites, and Instagrams that he thinks that you'll be interested in and that I think you'll be interested in as well. I hope that you'll really like this little chit chat I had with my brother and check out some of the sites that he referenced. I'm on my way to go see Darren. We're gonna meet in some town in Texas, halfway between the two places that we're at. My brother is visiting from Africa to take the time to make sure I got a chance to see him before he goes back in a few days. So today we're going to be having a few little visits with my brother, and hopefully we'll get to hear about his YouTube channel as well. And I'm just going to really I'm really going to enjoy introducing you to him. Looks like we have made our destination, Woody's Smokehouse. Now I'm just waiting for my brother and my cousin and his wife. And look at this window. Let's see if we can do this in one breath. Kolaches, breads, omelets, breakfast burritos, eggs, sausage, hamburgers, Woody's sub, BLT sandwiches, salads, specialty sandwiches, ribs, chickens, brisket, quail, pork chops, jerky, sausage, hams, turkeys, and cheese. Whew! That's a big menu. Oh, there's even more. On the other window, it has all sorts of other things, which I cannot see from here. Fudge, jellies, gifts, jams, nuts, and candy. Sounds like a great place. All right, look at the massive amounts of meat. We have, what's this, pork?
Pork ribs.
Beef brisket, and what's that?
That's a German sausage with jalapenos and cheese.
Sounds good. Then we have some pinto beans and some odd condiments. And my brother. There he is. Say hi, Darren.
I'm also an odd condiment.
Are you? Oh, well, not for me, but thank you. Hey, so, that's my brother.
Oh, yeah.
He's here.
Hi. I am. Long trip.
This is Laura from Sold on RV Life, and today I am here with my little brother, Darren. And I'm just going to have him.
Bigger.
He's very bigger. I'm going to have him just tell you a little bit about what he's doing and I don't know, some of the projects that he's working on, or just anything, because he's my brother and I think he's pretty cool.
I'm visiting my big sister because you're bigger than I am. Yeah.
I probably weigh more than you do.
Maybe. Do you do it in kgs? I measure myself in kgs
No,
now,
I don't.
because I live in Kenya, and so my sister travels around the country in her RV with her big RV, and I live in Kenya, and I have a YouTube channel too. I make videos about hyraxes.
Great.
Do you know what that is?
I know what a hyrax is.
You know what it is? You keep calling it a rodent.
Oh no, it's not. What? It does have a specific name.
It looks like a rodent, but it's related to the elephant and the sea manatee. So it's a really weird animal.
I knew the elephant, but not the sea manatee.
They even have a little dorsal gland in the middle of their back that opens up like a little blowhole thing.
Okay, so if I wanted to find out more about hyrax, where would I go?
Squiggy the hyrax is my YouTube page. Yeah, I have yellow spotted rock hyraxes around living on my house. So I live in Kenya because I also have another YouTube channel called Project Hand Up, where we make health education videos for kids in East Africa. We're like the Sesame Street of East Africa if it was all health. So it's all puppets, mostly puppets. We use puppets and magic, and then some animation and some live action to talk about really, really, really gross health stuff that's not fun, like intestinal worms, as well as challenging things like stigma of kids that are born with HIV. And so, but we make it as fun as possible so kids like to watch it.
And one I remember is washing hands.
Oh yeah, lots of it.
What's the washing hands?
Washing hands. Yeah, there's a tribe of people, my combo friends, they have a hard time with the letter H, but they'll move it around. They'll see like chicken lays eggs, but then the
There's
wash
no
hands.
H. No H hands.
So like, yeah, it's funny.
But
so.
isn't there's the H is for washing?
Well, so we have a
song.
campaign called H is for hand washing.
Okay.
Yeah, so the idea is that worldwide we'd like to change the alphabet from, not change the alphabet, but change the symbols for the alphabet. A is for apple, etc. To when you get to H, it's not for horse or house or anything else, but it's hand washing, just to get kids' brains around it. Because it's probably the single most effective intervention a kid can do to prevent illness is hand washing in terms of common everyday things. So I used to.
Yeah, go ahead.
I used to travel the whole USA.
And countries.
I went to, I was teaching puppetry, so I went to like 45 states at least 7 times over. But this was back in the 90s and early 2000s. So America was a little bit different. We didn't have an RV. We used a big Econoline van.
How many people?
It was only 3 of us, yeah. But we got the van stuck in the middle of a tree at one of those drive-through tree places in California, in the redwoods. Our boss gave us one rule. It was like, make sure whenever you're backing up, you have someone guide you, or whatever. So we're like, well, we had a guide. He's guiding us through the tree, and we got stuck. So our boss couldn't get too mad because we were following the instructions.
So we were talking earlier about all of the travel that you've done.
Yeah.
What was when you were on the road? What was it that you guys planned on doing? I mean, we were just talking about it, about your single museums.
Once you see the United States the first time, I think everybody's like Liberty Bell, Grand Canyon, Statue of Liberty. You're gonna try to see Key West if you can see that, or go to the big national parks, Yosemite and Yellowstone, and possibly Big Bend if you have a chance, But after we did that, and we really did it, we really saw like all the national parks, all the national treasures, and just things that were meaningful to us from childhood, from the school system that we learned about. But after that, it was like, now what do we do? And so we started going to single subject museums. Basically, it's like usually an old man who's just like collecting something his whole life, and is like, I could sell tickets to this place. So we went to the National Gorge Museum, the Bell Museum, the Frog Museum, the National Lighter Museum, Barbed Wire Museum. Like basically, the smaller the town, the goofier the museum is going to be, and we were all about that. And then to top on that is we went to the world's largest things. But like world's largest hand dug well, the world's
ball of string.
Yeah, of course, the biggest ball of twine. There's more than one.
Oh,
because a lot of these guys, they compete, and so we actually went. The birthplace of Bill Clinton is, I think, Hope, Arkansas, and they have the replica of the world's 3rd largest watermelon on display, which is like the stupidest thing. But like, we gotta get a picture of the replica because the watermelon's gone by now.
Well, of course.
But it was the biggest, but then it was beat, so they changed the plaque. So now it's like the replica of the world's 3rd largest watermelon. That's perfect. And so we went to all those things, and I mean a lot. I mean, my list is hundreds of different world's largest things. What I missed though is there's a lot of these places will have a miniature of the world's largest things, because you can't, so it's a miniature version of the world's largest ball of twine. There's a lady who has the world's largest collection of the smallest versions of the world's largest things.
Do you know her name?
I forget her name now, but I never
now we
saw
need
her.
to Google
Yeah,
that.
I never found her. I never saw her, but I've been to 2 nun doll museums where someone has taken dolls and dressed them in the habits of all the different Catholic churches, because they have different designs for some of the habits, and so they would research it and then put them on little dolls so you can see all the different habits around the world. And there's 2 collections like that. And I've been to both of them.
So you have seen a lot of stuff.
Goofy stuff. I mean, the weirdest things. In fact, in San Antonio, Texas, Barney Smith had the toilet seat art museum. And basically, because he was a retired plumber and retired craft teacher for like an orphanage or something like that, or a boys home, and so he combined his collection of toilet seats with his desire to do crafts, and he made over 1,000 of these things. We'd visit him year after year and talk with Barney, and we made him one. We actually made our own toilet seat, and when he passed away, the truck yard in North Dallas somewhere bought the whole entire collection and put it on display. And they even included our one. So
is it still open there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still there.
North Dallas?
Yeah, it's in the truck yard.
Okay.
It's like a community.
And he had a book.
Oh yeah, they made a coffee table book right before he passed away. They took like high quality pictures of all of his toilet seats, and so yeah, I mean, but the thing about these museums is the museums are not really that interesting, but the old men who freak out and decide to do this, they're treasures.
I remember going to the toilet seat museum and meeting Barney.
Oh, you did?
We did.
Okay.
I think you were there.
I might have been. I've been there so many times.
And all I remember, the most thing that I remember was his favorite poem, and I'll reference it later because I can't remember what the name of it is, but it is something like when's God's last picture is painted or something like that. It's a famous,
yeah.
and it's so beautiful. So I will actually find a way to include that somewhere in here. My big question is for people that travel a lot.
Yes.
What would be the biggest advice that you would give them?
I think the most important advice of all is that resist the urge to decide that you like or dislike a place. I found out that I would say like, oh, I really don't like Memphis. It's not a great city. You know, it's not my preference or whatever. Or I'd say, oh yeah, Miami was one of my favorite places. But when you go again and again and again and again to these places, you find out that, you just had a bad cab driver that one time, the weather was overcast, or maybe the radio was playing a song you didn't like, and your desire to sort of stamp it as like it or don't like it or prefer it or not is colored by the day itself and not really the city, because people make things because they are good, not because they aren't good. So like if you like, oh, I don't like community theater, well, it's like maybe you didn't go to the best version of it because it doesn't exist because it's bad, and the reason you didn't like it is because maybe you saw a bad show that one time. But don't place a judgment on seeing something once or even twice, because you might find on your third or fourth trip it's one of the best places you ever went, because it's all about timing, and a lot of it is yourself. It's not the place. And so I'm really slow to rush to judgment about judging a place along the American highways, because maybe someone cut me off, and then it's like someone says, like, if you meet 4 jerks before lunch, you're the jerk. There's a good chance it was you. And so in the same way, I just think everywhere has somewhere to offer. And so yeah, that's my biggest advice, is be real careful about making a judgment call, because things change, and it's really worth it to see things 2, 3, or 4 times. And especially, and the other thing would be, visit places as soon as you can, because they don't all last. Some of the best places on Roadside America, they're just not there anymore. These things go away. So I was really glad I got to see Barney Smith's place. I saw the Gorge Museum before it went away, and I saw there was I think the Salt and Pepper Shaker Museum. It's just like,
I've heard of those actually.
Yeah.
A lot of the YouTube channels that I watch, my favorite is when the family goes on vacation.
Yeah.
And there's one, and it's like and one, you're living through their eyes, their excitement, which if we don't get to see it, that's another great way to experience things.
Yeah. And it's so much better to talk about how much you love things than it is to complain about things. And I think
I like that.
Yeah, because liking things is so much better, but sometimes it takes work. But it's worth it to be the person who doesn't complain and be the person who's like, oh, have you tried this? It's really special. So that's how I try to experience the world. That's how I like to experience food. It's like I like to experience people that way, because a lot of people are jerks, but it's like, man, maybe he's got raging diarrhea. You don't know.
Yeah.
And people are always like, everyone goes through trauma, but you don't know when, because we're all really good at hiding it, so we get through our day. So when you meet a jerk, it's like, well, who knows what they went through? Let me meet them a second time and a third time, and do it that way. So yeah, I don't know, I like joy.
I'm glad. I'm glad. That's awesome. Okay, I have a lot of projects going on. You have a lot of ways that we can see what those projects are and what you've been up to. Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. My personal page is Darren Around the World on Instagram. That's the best place to find me. But I run a charity out of USA. It's a 501c3 nonprofit, but we operate in Kenya, and that is called Project Hand Up. Project Hand Up has an Instagram page, but it also has a Patreon, and it also has a YouTube page, which you can check out. And then as a hobby, I have all kinds of crazy little animals that live on my house, and that is called Squiggy the Hyrax. The Hyrax is related to the elephant and the sea manatee, but it looks about to be the size of an American football and has a really fuzzy butt. And they're really, really cute. And so Squiggy the Hyrax on Instagram and on YouTube, it'll be the cutest thing you've seen in a long time. So Squiggy the Hyrax, Project Hand Up, Darren around the world, and I live in a wonderland on the edge of the Nairobi National Park in Kenya called Nani's Wonderland, N-A-N-I''S Wonderland, and that's on Instagram, and you can see an amazing Airbnb place that I live at that's also a glass blowing factory in a forest where all these exotic animals live and everything, so you gotta check that out too.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks, Laura. It's good to see you.
So glad we had this time to hang out because I think you're pretty great.
I think you're pretty great. I forgot it.
Uh-oh. He says he has something for me.
This is our
Oh,
lion
you're a
that we use in our
lion.
HIV and AIDS education show. His name is Kafil. So he's a little Project Hand Up lion for our
Okay,
Swahili
cool.
messaging.
I
Yeah.
want to see him. Make sure.
You can have him. Keep him on your dash or feed him to the dog.
The
Maybe
dog.
Sadie.
I'll
Maybe
keep
Sadie
him.
will.
I'll keep it away from the dog. That's awesome. What's his name? Khalil?
Kafil.
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 I Kafil you.
Yeah.
Very cute.
Like that.
Thanks, buddy. I love you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. I'm glad that you made it to the end of the video, and I hope you enjoyed that little talk I had with my brother. Kafil and I want to say thank you for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button and the notification button so you don't miss a single video that comes from Sold on RV Life. We'll see you later. What do you think? Is it good?